My name is Dr. Paul Jenkins. I'm a psychologist, and I have some reactions to some of the themes of Hamilton, a really popular musical. Because this is such a popular musical, and I don't want to create any heartburn for Disney, who owns the copyright to this material, I'm going to be watching it through Disney Plus. Just one little clip. You won't be able to hear it, but I'll describe to you what part I'm in as we go along because there's some interesting themes here. In this particular scene, it's in Act 2, Alexander Hamilton is really busy trying to finish a project. His wife and sister-in-law try to invite him to go away with them upstate to get a break. He's been working hard, he's stressed out, and this is where this particular scene takes place. So he's acknowledging here that he hasn't slept in a week. He's been working on his project. He misses his wife and his sister-in-law. And that's when this woman shows up. I'm sorry to bother you at home. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. Okay, pause. This is so significant to me because I know that when we are weak, we're stressed out, we're busy. I've been there, have you? This is a time when we are vulnerable. As the scene plays out, we're going to learn that some things happen that he didn't intend originally. But the point here is sometimes when we're in a weakened state, we're at risk for any number of things happening. I think Alexander's wife, just prior to this scene, was picking up on the fact that this man is stressed out. He needs a break. I'm wondering how often we get little warning signals that maybe we're at risk for something. We need a break. Let's continue watching and see what happens. She's talking about how her husband has been mistreating her, finally just left her all by herself. And so Alexander says, well, I offered her a loan. I offered to walk her home. And, oh, that would be really nice, sir. Okay, so my point here, it's interesting to me that as this scene is playing out, it doesn't seem like anything is wrong. Anything is out of place. It's all very innocent. It's all very legitimate. It's all very justified. That's kind of where things start a lot of times. One reason I picked this scene to react to is because of the 30 years of clinical experience that I've had, especially as I work with couples and families and relationships. Here, Alexander is stressed out. He's working hard. He doesn't want to do anything to destroy his career, to mess up his family. That's not on his mind, but he is weak. He is vulnerable. He hasn't had a break for a while. This woman shows up, very legitimate. Sir, you're so kind. I don't know what to do. My husband has abandoned me and he mistreats me all the time. And his response is, well, I've got a little money I can lend you and can I walk you home? Offering to help, offering to take care. Now you can probably tell where this is going. And if you've seen the musical, you know exactly what this is because it's an important part. Let's go back and see what happens next. So at this point, she invites him to come into her home. He's just walked her home. That's all. So innocent, right? And now he's saying, how do I say no to this? It's almost like a prayer or a plead. How am I going to say no to this? Now, this is a popular song in the musical, and I think one of the reasons is that we are so likely to do exactly what Alexander Hamilton did here and end up in a position that is very compromising or that puts us into a position where it causes disruption in our life. This affair that he had while his wife was gone upstate comes back to haunt him because this woman's husband writes him a letter and says, hey, I know what's going on. But then he also says, and I'll be quiet if you pay me a certain amount of money every month. And in fact, I'll even let it continue. Okay, there's all kinds of wrong about that. Don't get me started on the morality of that particular situation. But the point is, Alexander Hamilton, in the musical, put himself in a vulnerable, risky position, not because he intended to. It was never in his heart to destroy his career or his family. But because of his vulnerable position, he was in trouble from something that he never intended to do. Picture for just a minute a chain. I've talked to a lot of my addiction clients about this, where the chain starts over here at this end and it's just little tiny links. If you can picture a chain that just has little tiny wimpy links made out of wire, some light gauge wire or something like that. And then the next link is a little bigger. Can you picture that? A little bigger, a little stronger. And then the next link is a little bigger than that and a little stronger than that. And the next link is even bigger. And finally at this end, there's this big forged cast iron link. That would be a strange chain, but if you can picture that kind of a chain, that's exactly what just happened to Alexander Hamilton. In the story, he was working, he was stressed. Okay, that has nothing to do with infidelity and having an affair that put his family and his career in jeopardy. Or did it have something to do with it? Well, it had everything to do with it because it's the first link of the chain. And it was a warning sign. May I insert something here? Because I don't want my reaction to this particular story to give anyone license or excuse to say, oh yes, I did this thing, but it's not my fault. I was stressed, I was worried, I was upset, I was burdened. It's not an excuse, it's a warning. When you're feeling stressed, that's on the chain. It's over here at this end. Okay, now if we're going to break this chain of the behavior that's causing us trouble, where are we going to do it? Over here where it's strong and unbreakable, or over here where it's weak and still is going to take some effort, but it's doable over here at this end? The whole song on this particular scene is say no to this. And Alexander's plea, almost his prayer, is, how do I say no to this? Well, it's a pretty good question. At this end of the chain, it's not a question. It's a statement. It's a declaration. How do I say no to this? I can't. At this end of the chain, it's still a question. How do I say no to this? Go with your wife upstate. Take a break. Had he done that, he wouldn't have run into the affair. And that wouldn't make the story nearly as interesting. I get it. But what about your life? Do you want to create a drama? Or do you want to create some success? The stressed, the worn out. See, if he would have taken that as a warning and then taken steps to take care of himself, that would have broken the chain here at this end, instead of allowing it to continue to a legitimate request, a desire to help. Oh, she looks attractive, and boom, okay, now we're in trouble. The chain, I think, is one of the best answers to how do I say no to this? Say no to it at this end of the chain, not that end of the chain. Pay attention to the warning signs that come up that have nothing to do with the maladaptive behavior. And you know what? It doesn't matter if we're talking infidelity, gambling, addictions, pornography, whatever it is, that behavior that's causing your trouble has something that happened just before it, and something that happened just before that, and something that happened just before that. Let's back it up the chain and see if we can really figure out how to say no to this. It's a legitimate question. If you, like Hamilton, are in a position where you're trying to figure out how to say no to this, whatever it is that's getting you into trouble, do what it takes to take care of yourself. You may not even know of some of the resources available to you, like Live on Purpose Central. Will you come and visit us there? I think you're going to love the resources that we've put in place to help you create and live a life that you love. There's a link in the description, go.liveonpurposecentral.com.
And I wished I had a number, sorry.